Welcome back to the channel, folks. Thanks for tuning in at SantosCustom. On today's episode, simple blog. What do we do following a time attack weekend? Maintenance on the car, clean up, put it back to street legal. Here it goes. What's going on, folks? Thanks for tuning back in. So today we do have a post-race undo stuff to do on the car. We have to remove the front racing seat, and there's also the rear bar that we did at 11:30 the night before leaving for the race event. We created a small brace for the rear. It's not primed, it's not everything, it's still raw form, so I just gotta take it off at the same time, clean it, sand it, and put it back as well. So stay tuned, stay with us, and have a look how we made the brackets for the Kirkey seat. Whenever you want to put a racing seat on, you'll have it on your end as well. Here we go. So this is a Kirkey racing seat, and how we did the brackets was pretty simple. Basically, the Kirkey seat, when you purchase the seat, comes you have to purchase those brackets as well. These ones, they're the ones for the seat. You have to make sure that you order the proper ones for your seat. However, when we were trying to mount it, with my height, I'm like 6 feet, I was way too low. The good news is the MK7 is a flat bottom at the under the seat. So what I was able to do is I used a 2x4 beam that we cut to length, and then what we did is that we created some holes bigger at the top. Like that, I'm able to go with it's a triple square M10 to unscrew it from the top. The hole is bigger at the top so that the socket can go through, and then we just line up the seat where it goes, and then there's 4 holes at the bottom that holds the bottom bracket to the metal beam. Because of my height, this is what we had to do. It's a perfect fit. The seat is not movable. We didn't put any rails, just because if I added rails, it was again another fiasco of like keep on rising it, and I wanted to lower it, but then it was a bit too low, so I had to come up with a compromise. So to remove the seat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first remove the inside so I can access those 2 bolts on each side. Then we'll unscrew the rear of the seat, and then we'll go and unscrew the front. We'll repeat for the other side, and the seat will come right off, and we'll be able to put in the OEM seat. Here we go. So now the racing seat is off, so now we just have to put the main seat in. Simple as putting in the 4 screws back in place. Never fully tight the bolt the first time. You can ensure that everything is lining up properly, and once you have all 4 bolts aligned, then you could start thinking about torquing everything to spec. One thing you might realize when you start your car is that you have that little airbag light on. So the first thing you want to do is you want to connect to your OBD11 app. Only works on Android unless you get the latest version of OBD11, which is the black one. So for now, there's passive problems. You hit the scan button, and then you wait a few seconds. It'll get back to you saying that, oh, you got all kinds of error messages. So here it goes, guys. Small close up on the seat brackets that we did. One thing that I did before going on the racetrack is I put this protection here, just to avoid, because seat belts are tied in there, just to avoid that they get rubbed and cut. As you guys can see, there's 4 holes. Currently I'm just putting 2 bolts. It's just temporary markup for now, but anyways, once it's in the car, there's 4 bolts. As you guys can see, there's 4 holes. Everything is lining up. Everything is good, and that's about it. Here goes, guys, another step that is important to do. I didn't record it because there's nothing cool to see about changing the oil, but one thing you got to do also when you come out of a racetrack or I do it every time I go on track. I come up, I dump all the oil and fill it up again with freshly oil as usual. Only liquid moly 540 goes on my car, nothing else. To extract the oil, I use my pump. Pretty simple. I don't need to jack the car. It's pretty simple. Just make sure that you leave the car running prior to, so the oil is warm. Then remove the dipstick, shove the oil, pump it up, and the oil will come all off. Change your filters and you're good to go. So 10-minute job. Another thing that you have to do when you come off track, at least what I do every time I come off track, change oil. Next thing, change the brake pads. Here it goes, guys. So I just finished changing the brakes pads, because after a time attack day, most likely your pads or rotors are done. Rotors are still good this time, which is surprising. Just changed the pads. So in case you're wondering, the setup that I do run is DTC 60 for the front and Nox HP Plus in the rear. If ever, I do have performance pack brakes, which is the bigger size front and rear. So this is ever you want some. This is the part number. And if you want for the rear, this is what I am running as well. Just consider, guys, this breaks a lot. Maybe not ideal for daily use on the road, but regardless, it's awesome brakes. Makes a lot of dust though, has a side effect. I run those with the rotors or stop tech, and this is so far my brake setup. Here we go. So as you guys know, since we did the front brace, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it at the top, how to do the front strut tower brace, homemade, really beautiful piece. You could save a lot of $100. I think it's, if you go at Eurocode, they're selling it for like 250 US plus shipping. If you follow my how-to, you should be able to replicate what I did. Awesome, it'll be fully adjustable. And at 11:30 at night, before going on track the next morning, I was septic because the previous track night, the rear end of the car was loose because of sway bars and everything, and now the front is really tight. So the rear, I was feeling a little bit of flimsy. So we came up with this concept. What it does is basically it holds on to the sides of where the rear seats hold, and then inside of this bar, which is we use DOM tubing. It's 1 inch by 120 wall, and inside of it I made sure that I use a threaded rod that does the entire length, and we had it four bolts over here so that we can tighten to the exterior. This one too, like that, it creates a lot of pressure, and then we just use the inner one to lock them in position so it doesn't move. As you can see, there's no way in hell you could move this thing over here. It's fully solid, and that really made a difference on track. So if you're looking for something cool that will give you like a lot of stiffness to the rear of your car, this could be a small DIY. This is the phase 1 that we did. Now we're gonna do a refactor of this version, and we're gonna come and add some more 90 degrees bracket. We'll make like a triangle shape on each side to give for the strength to be relocated across the entire shock tower on both sides, so the pressure is equally and not just at the top of the bar. So right now what we'll be doing is I'll just be slacking those bolts, remove the bar, clean it up, paint it back, and we'll keep it aside for the next track day. So let's keep on doing. Goes. So everything is fully welded here. As you guys can see, my welds are not bad at all. Fully welded, and this is the bar. It actually works really well because you're able to put pressure on each tower. Now the second phase, what we're going to do is we're going to rework again on these brackets to put in like a lock position, and we're going to create a second brace over here that's going to attach to the lower piece. However, one thing that is important, guys, and don't spend money on something that is not adjustable, because if you just hold it there, it won't add extra strength to your tower. It's going to be like a piece there. Yes, it's better than nothing, but when you want to add extra strength to the towers to make sure that you remove body roll, you want to add pressure to it. And this is what this bar allows, is you allows to put your pressure on towers on both sides. So like that, it removes any slide that could potentially happen. And in track, it makes a hell of a difference. So let's clean it up, paint it up, and let it. Here goes, guys, close up picture of the final product so far until revision 2. So this is the rear shock tower brace that we did, that you're able to apply pressure to your rear shock towers. Works like a charm. Well, that's all I got for you guys for today, folks. Hope you like the content. Simple video on what we usually do when we get off track. We're not just gonna go on track, do a full-time attack weekend, and then put the car back on the driveway, let it sleep, or there's maintenance that needs to be done on the car. You need to double check everything, make sure everything is working as expected. Change the oil, take care of the car, you know, oil, check the press tin level, check all the other fluids in the car, make sure the brakes are good. In my case, the pads were finished, rotors were still good. So, you know, daily clean up the car, make her a beauty, so like that she respects you back. And that's it. So if you like this type of content, guys, subscribe, hit the like button, and see you on the next episode. Booyah!